day.
Alright, fine. I think I may have accidentally started the Albedo story quest, so I'm just gonna go with it. There be Sucras. There be Sucras.
Wait, are these two?
Yeah, also I gotta get my headphones on. Oh. Alright, let's get it done.
Hello, Traveler in Paimon. Pardon me, are you looking for Timaeus?
Yes, I was just in the middle of doing like a geo-hyperstasis. I'm like, I gotta send Noelle! But then I come back here to, like, craft a thing for, like, the broken mask or upgraded mask, and then I'm like, why are you here?
No, just strange for him to not be around.
I see. He was called away by Albedo a little while ago. I was called over to attend to the store.
Who's Albedo?
If you need any help, just call my name. If not, I'll be reading a book. Over there.
Over there.
No worries, we're all clued up on the basics of alchemy, aren't we?
Yes. No need to trouble you.
It's no surprise coming from the one who repelled storms. Actually, since it's you, I bet you're someone who'd be able to help Albedo.
Why would I need to help Albedo?
What's that name again? Albedo. You and Timaeus mentioned him the last time we met, right?
There's a very tiny echo.
Apologies. I never introduced him. Albedo is the Knights of Favonia's chief alchemist. He's also Timaeus and my teacher.
So Albedo is an alchemist.
But Paimon's only ever seen Timaeus teaching alchemy. So that means Albedo is a teacher?
No. That's not how it works!
Yes. He's dedicated himself to investigating the truth of this world, and has made many an important breakthrough.
Such as?
We often get alchemists coming to Mondstadt from all over Teyvat, seeking his help. They say that the subtlest of guidance from Mr. Albedo helps him to solve the most unfathomable of problems.
Such as?
Wow! Paimon didn't know he was such a big deal.
Such as? God.
Still, it seems that he's encountered a problem in his research recently. Every time I see him, he has a concerned look on his face.
Every time I see him, he's worried. He's got a bit long dread on his face. My knowledge of alchemy stops at basic crafting.
I'm sure that Albedo would love to hear about your incredible exploits. I know it would bring him lots of new inspiration.
Am I gonna see the same look on his face as well?
Albedo is a true gentleman. He'll be sure to pay you back in equal measure for helping him out.
Can you make Paimon stronger?
Paimon doesn't need any help in that department. But if Albedo wants to pay Paimon back for helping him, a few more...
Albedo and Timaeus will be conducting research in the mountains right now. I'm
Fine.
afraid you'll have to go to the entrance to the pass and look for him by yourselves. Look out for a refined gentleman with the presence of a true scholar. And...
What else am I gonna find when I meet Albedo?
Sorry. That's the best I can do. You'll have to do your best.
Because the Hoyoverse does not want to reveal too much to the player all at once. Like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that and let you find out on your own. Bye!
Hey, stop worrying!
You stop worrying. Traveler observation report.
Sucrose is a whole lot less nervous.
Yes. Also, as I mentioned before, I may have accidentally started the... Actually, I did start the Albedo story quest. Just because I unlocked it, and then I went to an area where I didn't know it was there, but triggered it anyways. So I figured, I'm gonna come back and do the quest at a much later time. You.
Sister Rosaria! So here you are! Choir practice is about to...
I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important matters to attend to.
I've got more important things to handle, cliché.
Oh, but this event has commemorative significance. The church hopes that all sisters will be present.
Except I'm not really a sister. Dun dun dun! Yep.
Hopes? That's odd, because I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I don't recall that. That's just a frickin' celebratory signal thing.
I mean...
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you not find it the least bit odd?
How odd.
What do you mean?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wager you'd still miss the opening Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to make a fool out of you.
Why? I have so many questions at this point. Why a ceremony? Why does Barbara care? Why does Rosaria not care? Why set out the ceremony? Why have both of them out this far? Why can't they just teleport all the way back to Mondstadt? Unless, of course, teleportation does not exist somehow in the cutscene story timeline. Why are these two out here in the first place?
Huh? Well, that can't be. People aren't like that.
Did Rosaria even say what?
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Maybe you're a little too trusting of other people. Don't fret.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna show up.
Rosaria is an emo nun. Oh god.
But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then... right, I've gotta get going.
So basically, Rosaria is like, facts don't care about your feelings. Barbara's like, oh, you're right, I gotta do something.
Seems like that sister's an expert in making people believe anything she wants.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
I was about to say the same to you, but I already know your name, and I was just about to look for somebody else, but I stumbled across you.
We better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain, or a trickster at best.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church. You're an eavesdropping pixie from who knows where, and you think I'm the trickster?
She has a point, so she knows how to stick with the facts, almost like me in a way.
Wait, she heard that? But Paimon was whispering so quietly.
Well, not quite enough.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following... So it's you.
Right.
The honorary knight that saved us from storm terror. Well then, given your status, I won't press you on your reasons for eavesdropping.
I'll just assume you have good intentions because you fought off a dragon.
Otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
I could have detained you and throw you in jail, no questions asked.
What? Do the Sisters of Mondstadt have the authority to arrest people now?
She's a member of the church. The church probably has power at this point, so I'm not going to be surprised.
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense of justice?
Because it's a church, and it seems like the idea of justice is getting your hands dirty, and my guess is the church does not want to get its hands dirty and let the knights do all the dirty work.
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think of a good comeback.
Except me! Also, Patrick's like, churches control everything in the fantasy world. What do you expect?
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains?
We're looking for Albedo.
If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his tracks.
Where is he?
Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope they're still there.
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never hurts to be vigilant.
You're more like a detective.
I couldn't care what you think. Come on then. I'd like to see what he's up to anyway.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the tracks. They should show up pretty clearly with
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very interesting.
Your ability to do things isn't blah.
After committing a crime, you'd be able to leave the scene without a trace.
Really?
You're so suspicious. Why is Paimon a criminal in your example? It's getting colder and colder.
Yes, it is.
Aren't you freezing?
Me? I'm alright. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Ooh, wait.
Seems like there's more to being a sister in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized.
Okay, so there's another set of footprints up here. Alright, where's it at? Where are they at? Where's who at? I don't know. Oh yeah, Albedo. You got stuck on the mountain again. Who? Huh.
Is that Albedo? Why would he hang around a place like this?
Because he's an alchemist, and for some odd reason, he's probably doing alchemist things, looking for rare material, I don't know.
The word on the street is he loves painting. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Potential paintings everywhere you look.
But can't he see those hilly churls? Isn't he in danger?
Do the hilly churls see him? Well, they see us now.
Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture
I'm
first.
gonna burn you all, and burn you all.
Right here. I must leave no stone unturned.
There we go. Burn you all. There we go. And then I'll burn you all again.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire.
Bam. Alright, Albedo.
Who are you? Why did you alarm them?
What do you mean alarm them? They came at us first.
Thank the gods I'd already completed my painting. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly churls unfinished.
You were painting hilly churls?
What's up with painting hilly churls? What makes them so interesting?
Because it's nature in motion, and for I know it sounds like I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm just gonna assume everything, and that's basically how the game works at this point.
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my painting, it may give you a clue.
Very avant-garde, but why is one leading the other? Didn't I fight 3, but somehow there's 4 in the painting?
Wow. Look at the detail.
You can find these hilly churls anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection.
And yet you decided to paint them anyways.
But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work here.
So what's so special about this one?
In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work. Evolution, the transition from nothing into existence, from the known to the
I'm gonna stop her right there. Also, it's interesting that he says that their lives, the Hilichurl lives, are very, like, impressive from this point, but in another sense, he's like, not worth cleared an inspection. So he kind of contradicted himself there.
Hold your horses. Something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't got the stamina.
Really? Should I give you stamina healing food?
We found your man. I'm headed back.
I'm going away. Have fun. Almost reminds me of Mondo. There you go.
Don't you have any questions for him? Hey!
No, she doesn't care. I did you a favor. I'm going away. Have fun.
What a weirdo.
Said every single other pro player who's ever done the same thing because nobody cares much for the feelings of any game or any story they've ever played in any Genshin Impact or any other story-related mode on any other game, period. Trademark.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her.
Wow, super fast. I didn't have time to thank her. I am just as emotionally dead as she is. And I almost cared. But despite being on the same level, I guess I won't get any emotional thing out of it. I have no idea what you just said. Long run sentence.
From her words, it seems that you were looking for me?
Yes! Now what?
We met a girl in Mondstadt.
I love Albedo. Oh my god.
She said you were stuck with your research.
She said you were stuck with your research. Well, isn't painting research?
I see. So Sucrose sent you here.
Oh god, you love Albedo. Moishishi.
Then, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the honorary knight. You've got the whole of Mondstadt talking.
Wait, what? How the hell do you know us? Unless someone else he eats spiders for fun. Really? Really? Okay, how would you know we were the honorary knight? All you knew is that we were looking for you, and that's it.
I've heard a bit of everything. Your actions during Storm Terror's attack, your elemental control, and quite a few other mysterious things.
Then brings the question of who you heard it from.
I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. You came from afar. From another world. Correct?
Yes, but who told you that? It's not even a question of what was said, it's like, who said what?
Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would benefit enormously.
He could destroy all of Mondstadt if he wants to. He can end the world if he wanted, with the swift of a pen and the control of alchemy.
Forgive me. This must be confusing. Where should I begin? The essence of life?
What?
Whoa, you want to start with that?
You're right. Giving a demonstration would be better than trying to explain.
You're right. Actually showing how it works is not good enough. Or wait, no, actually, demonstration would be better than explain, because actions speak louder than words.
For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
Italy, you just do that. You have the power over life.
You can do that?
He just did that.
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method I'm talking about has produced no results.
He has the power over life, but for some odd reason he can't handle the seed.
It's like you, in that it hails from another world. Helping it to grow, to bloom. That's the problem my research is up against.
So
I
basically,
need your assistance.
So basically, he's using the player as a metaphor for something outside of his world. Basically, everything within Mondstadt and possibly everywhere else in Teyvat is something he can handle with life, but for some odd reason, there's like some things outside the world he can't handle, and he needs thinking the player might help him.
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be much assistance.
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world.
That's basically what I just said.
But you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you, I may just be able to find a way to get the seed to sprout.
Right, that's quite the metaphor to describe the player. Not really, lol. The player is outside of this world. Where I go, there are no roads.
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
Not too freaky for my liking.
It's possible. But I will do everything in my control to ensure your safety.
Okay.
Time for a change of surroundings. We should be going. There's research to do.
There's things to do. Moving on. And Rosaria, despite saying she didn't care, she wanted to move on, actually stood around.
Travelers seem to have hit it off.
Uh-huh.
Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mondstadt?
What if you aren't a weirdo and you know the weirdo? Does that still count? No? Okay. Okay.
Paimon has a question. After the seed sprouts, will it grow into anything?
Why else would it be called a seed if it doesn't grow anything?
I don't know. But I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint.
So you're like, it's all about the journey, not the destination!
Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into Teyvat would constitute a big leap in my understanding of the essence of life.
Understanding more than what I know within the world that I know could really take a leap of everything.
After awakening, even creation may be possible.
Okay, now I'm starting to see why Moishi is saying he has a power of, like, God over everything. Considering the fact that he literally mentioned, oh, creation may be possible, to somehow bring something out of nothing. Ooh, Paimon's like, uh-oh, I'm talking to a god.
Still a little difficult to understand?
First of all, if it's difficult to understand, then why would you even need to explain it in the first place?
No, Paimon's got a brain. But what's the seed gonna become? Isn't that more interesting than whatever it was you were saying?
Doesn't seem like you understood, concerning the fact that it's this idea that the seed is used to, as an example of creating life from nothing, not what it is become. It's about what came before rather than what is after.
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
You sure know how to keep Paimon on board?
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one of the few non-alchemy related disciplines I'm any good at.
You could just say you babysit a little kid every now and then, so you know what you're doing, but again, wordy.
The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. Though I can't see anything resembling one on your person.
So again, it's like, he's talking about Klee, by the way. What? How the hell is he talking about Klee? I don't see how he could possibly be talking about Klee. But also the idea of, like, him talking about someone without a vision but able to cast elements, again, is like a whole mystery thing that he's got to figure out.
How you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something I'd like to ascertain. I've got a few questions in that regard.
You are a bigger mystery than I am, despite me having the power of a god, cliche.
Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? A fourth stomach? Things of that nature.
When he said he occasionally looks after a child. Okay! I thought, oh god. For some odd reason, the term child and Klee are almost different. I don't know. No.
Fascinating. And this floating child is connected to your body in some way?
Are you talking about Paimon?
What a stupid question! Can't you see the gap between them? And another thing, it's Paimon, not floating child.
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps there is some invisible force connecting you.
I caught Paimon with a fishing rod on my Paimon on my travels.
Oh, that rules out that possibility. I wonder, did Paimon guide the elemental power to you?
That possibility. I wonder what other possibility he's talking about.
But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick, or cause the waterfall south of Springville to flow backwards.
Wait, why is he looking at Paimon like it's something that can just reverse nature?
No, that definitely can't be it.
Well, maybe it isn't it.
Hey, how would you know anyway?
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your body and that of the humans in this world.
Oh, so you're wondering if the composition was the reason I could, like, handle elements without a vision. Okay, no, that's not the thing.
Given that there's clearly a discrepancy in their research, it seems that only experimentation will yield the answers.
Great, I become a test subject, just like those treasure hoarders that said, another test subject.
Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. I'd like to examine exactly how it manifests externally.
So you want me to use elements?
Let me lure a few slimes to the area. Perhaps you'd be able to defeat them.
Fine.
Doesn't seem very sciencey.
It is in a way, considering the fact that it's observation.
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. This is just a simple exercise. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in 6 Oceanids.
Oh.
Slimes! Slimes are fine.
As long as I'm not being battered around by the hydro mimic.
Prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment.
Go. You want to see how I handle? Uh-oh, I handle. Now I really handle. I handle. Oh. Nope.
Come on out. Emerge.
So fight stuff. And survive. Again. I got you. Come on, keep smacking. Smackity, smackity, waggity. Come on. Oh, God. There we go. You're done. And now you're done. Oh crap, I need
Boba, get them!
Youngling.
Leave it all to me.
There we go.
Clean up.
Got you and got you. Oh damn, I'm more of them.
Drop! Ha!
Come on.
Show them. Right now, a sight to behold.
Okay. Wait, how are they immune? They could conduct.
Nice and spicy! Ha!
Rip. Alright, is that it? Yes, no, talk to Albedo.
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary?
No!
If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready.
No!
Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental flow is as expected. Elemental reactions are normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary.
Except for the fact that I can use elements without vision, which is already by itself unordinary.
Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally, let's test the internal flow.
Okay.
Internal flow.
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract elemental power. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Will it crystallize in my stomach?
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Also, the fact that we've been standing out in the freezing cold for some time without actually bundling up? Nobody's talking about that.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness.
And in the abnormal course of events?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparations. Try not to worry.
Do I have to sign a waiver?
Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved. But if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, we'll be able to locate it with this just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason, that's a bad sign.
It's like a health checkup, except how the hell would the traveler know about a health checkup? Who knows?
Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. It's
Fine.
a type of ore known as star silver. I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. I'll point out any likely contenders. We should be able to...
Fine.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but it seems like there's a silver lining.
To figuring out how to use elements without a vision?
Let's keep our eyes open.
Alright.
Here. Should do for catalyst purposes. This one. Usable with a bit of polish.
Okay. Done.
What luck. This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way.
A little bit more than luck when I can see it right from where I'm at.
This is my campsite.
Yes.
I've added them while we are waiting. Have a look over here.
Where? Turn around. Walk away slowly. And somebody else is here. Who is here? And why are they here?
My assistant Timea's here is helping me with my research.
Oh god.
I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstadt already.
So he's all the way up here.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment. The report is already up on the board there.
He almost sounds... maybe. I don't know, maybe I could be mentioning this. Almost sounds like Brock.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got all these results from one slime battle?
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few daring guesses, perhaps.
I wouldn't call it one slime battle, considering the fact it's multiple.
I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship between this traveler and the slimes.
What?
Consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. The slimes don't have visions either, yet they too are able to manipulate the elements.
Funny you mention that he sounds like Brock. Oh god. Is he actually Brock? Oh god.
Following this line of thought,
Because
I'm
his
sure
is
we'll
actually
be able to
voices Brock.
establish a basis in fact.
Is it James Stewart? Or Jim Stewart, or the guy who does Brock. Oh, God, it is.
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. In other words, beings consisting entirely of the elements. Cryoregisvine, or even a whopperflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and animals, you might have to trace back to the world's origins. In that sense, things might get difficult, don't you think?
In order to make sense of the traveler, you need to make sense of the world. But again, the traveler's from a different world, so...
Yes, sir. That
I was just kidding, by the way.
correct.
Okay.
After all, we've got our primary data already. This traveler is a visitor from another world. If it turned out that she did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world... Now that really would be something, wouldn't it?
Because you're so like a mystery of everything!
Ah, it would. Apologies. I was so excited to get the data. I'll slow down a bit next time.
So basically, the traveler's existence is a mystery.
Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being. If you're keen for an update...
Great.
Fine.
I'll leave you to it.
Really interesting what happened yesterday with Hu Tao and Kumiko. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. Wait, they weren't actually? I'll leave you to it.
Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first.
I gotta
If all
have...
goes well, I'll hand it over to you.
light silver, whatever the hell it is, silver, and a potion.
In line with my expectations. Ready to drink.
Okay.
Remember to keep calm at all times. And breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
Interesting how you say that. Drink the passion. They did have the same VA, for instance, yesterday, but not for this one. Okay. Alright, where be the potion? Oh, there it is. Octobeater, here are the conclusions, and I'm on fire. Why am I on fire? Is that part of the potion's effect?
You've got a funny look on your face.
It's burning a bit.
You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very
But
positive
the
one at
VA's
that.
name is Brooke, so there's that. Okay.
This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete, there won't be any other effects.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural.
What about the
for me
rest
to
of
be
you?
complete. Perhaps it's just scholarly self-assurance. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different from anyone else in this world.
And yet
Nothing peculiar.
you're still trying to categorize, like an earlier conversation is, oh, your elemental reactions are that of monsters, despite having no elemental reaction, but you're still human.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Like what? Go to Super Saiyan?
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have a tendency to be of the undesirable variety.
Fine.
The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same. They can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another.
Oh god, I feel like every time you feel like a bigger mystery, you make me feel like I am my own mystery. But maybe that's the thing with alchemists. They affect those that everybody sees them.
When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience because you are them. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different.
In other words, the Traveler is special, as if we didn't already know that the whole entire time. And that kind of doesn't answer the question about how the Traveler is able to use elements without evasion.
For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine or an Eye of the Storm. Have I explained it clearly enough?
No.
To sum
No.
up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear.
Then why are you trying to make me understand something that's like what?
Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it.
Run a lab in the middle of the cold.
You gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now.
Usually people who are stretched to the limits can't think clearly, but somehow that works for you.
Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form, now that was...
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to my judgment.
I want you to try harder.
You can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory...
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up.
I've seen way worse suck-ups.
What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit. Mr. Albedo, say something.
Usually, suck-up is someone who contradicts themselves, but Albedo's the one who's the contradictory one. So, I don't know, isn't Albedo the suck-up? Isn't he sucking up to the player?
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to prepare something. If you're interested, why not have a look around?
Okay. And that is that. Moving on. Wouldn't hurt to touch it, would it? Wouldn't hurt to touch the fire. Even though it's very cold out here. Here in concept festival, experimental report stuck to it. Progress they made. Tell that the progress is being made on the experiment. Packed with bookshelves, the owner of the habit of reading. Researching potions.
Let's go see him.
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Not to worry. They're all for alchemical purposes. You'd be hard-pressed to find an everyday use for them.
Okay.
Well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Teyvat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the element, but worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side, do you possess any unique abilities?
No.
I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time.
Am I battling slimes again?
No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around.
So, less effort?
Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it.
Really? You want me to break a stone pillar? Nope.
That was your best effort? Well, can't be helped, I suppose.
You expected me to break a stone pillar.
What's with the disappointment? Isn't that, like, impossible?
Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking, as such. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation.
We went from talking about, can you break this boulder? No. Okay. Food? Maybe.
I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others find surprising.
Really? Yeah, it really tends to mix and warp your world to the point where anything you say is gonna be surprising to other people.
Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat?
Fine.
Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Mad scientist stuff. I'm thinking of Steins Gate, where the guy is like, I'm mad scientist.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry.
He probably is.
It does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves.
Fine.
Good buddies are always on the same page.
Even when they're not?
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the result. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem.
Yeah, because you eat a lot. So I gotta cook!
Elemental power into the food.
Oh, God. Stop talking. Please. Stop talking. Sunshine Sprat, details step by step. What is a Sunshine Sprat? It was a blue one, but I can't. Oh, here it is. Here. Yes. God. Anybody else? No, no, either or. Yes. There. I got 2. For the price of 1.
That was fast.
Yes, it was.
An average outcome experimental. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours.
So the cooking part was also another experiment?
Unless... could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
Doesn't the natural laws of any world limit anybody's abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Really? Just because you came up with the idea of bringing creation out of nothing does not mean the same applies to food.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Okay.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
You're Paimon's new favorite.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment.
Because everything is an experiment to you.
Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong.
Really?
Anyway.
I don't think Paimon would have done much. I'll just leave it at that.
Hey! You were being nice a second ago.
You expect him to be nice all the time?
But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you.
Wow.
And you're right, we are good friends.
Yes, I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment.
God, he's got red eyes like he's tired as hell. I should have mentioned that before.
Chemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch.
So in other words, you want me to go fetch them?
I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
You want me to go fetch them?
Paimon's barely finished eating it.
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to if you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, lost property would be a thing of the past.
Really? Oh, okay, you're gonna call the Traveler a superhero now.
I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where...
So, guess we'd better take a look.
So... Fetch quest!
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. God. Oh, God, you're so horrible at keeping things together. Alright, where's it at? Where's it at? How do I find it? You couldn't find it before, and yet you want me to find it.
One eternity later.
Drawing board? God, what am I looking for? Animo, mark. Oh! Here? It's on Animo, mark. It's right here.
The extract of an animo crystal fly can only be animo elemental energy, right? This
Yes.
has gotta be it.
Okay, and... Oh my god,
This must be
why did I expect them to be elsewhere? Why do I look everywhere else but not here?
Goodness. I managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks.
I don't know. Maybe I just start off with the hardest stuff and like, it couldn't be that easy. Maybe it is easy. And then it turned out to be easy.
I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allows you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains, correct?
Technically in your camp, but yes.
Yep. Guess it does sort of count as a superpower, huh?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of elemental reactions and elemental sight in fantasy novels. Like, if you look at a medieval type fantasy novel and you see, like, magic everywhere, somehow that's not being called a superpower, but I guess the elemental stuff is a superpower in the eyes of Albedo.
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat.
It's very common.
Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
Mm-hmm.
We failed again?
We're not special enough.
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I'd call this a very worthwhile experiment.
How everything is an experiment.
I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces.
We would have to use elemental sight, so anything that showed up within the site would have had elemental traces.
Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity.
How do I get off this train?
In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical.
Oh god.
Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing?
No, there might be walls. Maybe you could see Mondstadt, just a bit of Mondstadt from here, but you couldn't see through all the snow and everything.
And if you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there,
No.
could you see her? So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then could you see her?
No, but why are you still expecting the super power test?
Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still,
Maybe you
we'll
should...
gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment.
You're Superman. Nah, Superman flies. My character can only glide. And also the idea of Albedo expecting a superhero again. What was I about to say? We're still on the superhero test. I don't know, like, he's really looking for somebody who's strong, and who is a Superman or an Ubermensch.
I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test.
Is it slime?
Please, follow me.
Okay. Do simple things that you normally do, cause do. Well, you climbed down, congratulations. That's another experiment.
You want us to jump from up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is.
We better have a better method.
Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake.
So we gotta glide.
I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us.
Are you gonna give me wind boost?
Some of us would be... No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me,
Uh,
every detail is invaluable to the research.
fine.
Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
Okay.
Wait a minute. While
Yeah, there are wind currents.
testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks,
Just sitting here,
providing,
watching.
emotional support.
So, if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No, he's not gonna do it.
Unless you're thinking of conducting
3, 2, 1.
competitive research?
Competitive
Oh.
research?
Forget Paimon said anything.
Oh, crap. Crap, Crap. Get out of the water, get out of the water, get out of the water, get out of the water! Okay, there. Now what? Done! And you just decided to come over here.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it.
That could have been done at anywhere else, but...
Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
Yeah, but, like, trying to make someone feel special is not really, like, uplifting at all.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat.
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway,
What if you didn't use alchemy to cheat?
if it turns out that the natural laws of Tevat do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to.
So in other words, you might find more about the civilizations where the traveler came from?
If the natural laws of Tevat do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects.
God, you're thinking about it like a naturalist.
The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to...
But
No.
how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I
Fine.
may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended.
Really? I hope you won't be offended.
Old, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own.
You're making those analogies?
The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost.
Like, as soon as we get into science, all the Enlightenment stuff is gone.
All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsetia or a sweet flower. They cease to be noteworthy.
Yeah, so basically, it's like, as soon as you understand the thing you're trying to understand, you lose interest in it. It's almost as if, like, people are more attracted to the mystery of something because it's a mystery. Oh, I know what it is, therefore I don't have to know what it is anymore.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting and the differences between them?
No, because he wants to know something that he doesn't know.
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that serves to pique my curiosity now.
Again, the contradiction, but why study them?
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like,
Yes.
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime. Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence.
Great! Something I'll probably fail at!
Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby.
Oh god. Let's see how smart you are! Let's see how good you are using your brain. So, how is this gonna involve using our noggin? We handled cooking, we handled fighting, we handled climbing, and now we gotta handle riddles. How smart are
I
you?
imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities.
Fine.
I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings.
Okay.
There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center.
Where?
As with the physical
Oh.
test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe.
Okay.
Remember that this is a test of intellect. So should you get lucky in any way, that won't be factored in as part of... So, let's see you in action.
Fine. Okay. What am I looking for? Sealies?
In the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Sealies. One right here. Oh. Alright, thank you to whoever joined, I appreciate it. There we go. Gonna activate the Sealy. Yes. Sealy in the snow. Okay. Let's see how it is. Gotta bring this over there. Damn it, climb, damn it, climb. There we go. Oh, grab. Grab. Dang it.
Leave it.
Alright. Also, I've never seen a fire Sealy before. Or maybe I have, I can't remember. It's been such a long while. There we go. That one's down, and now you have what? Oh yeah, probably from the Dragon Spine quest that we were doing earlier.
So proceed with caution.
They're exclusive to Dragon Spine. Okay. So something tells me I might have to have all these activated at once. Okay. And... okay, maybe activate this one first?
It should now be
There we
possible
go.
to activate
Okay, that's
the
how you
central
do it.
mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out.
You want us to solve this puzzle for you?
Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased.
Yes! Obvious
We
statement
should
is
be able to
obvious.
What's this?
I don't know, what is it? Klingon? Unfamiliar patterns.
To the
Symbols.
best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to rest here, a true mystery. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater...
Fine.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get some cool results for once.
Agreed. What are you gonna show us, Albedo?
Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Uh-huh. What kind of miracle is that? I take it I passed the intelligence
I'm
test.
kind of looking forward to seeing the results of all this brain. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to...
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
Really? For someone who doesn't care?
You! You didn't leave the mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor.
Really? You know something that I don't?
Taking orders from a complete stranger? Drinking anonymous potions? Participating in all kinds of strange experiments?
Considering the fact that I've already consented, I don't see where the weird part is.
I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps you were colluding from the beginning.
Yeah, well, I'm just as in the dark about everything as you are, so...
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
Just helping with his research, that's
It doesn't
it.
matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander.
Really? Then enlighten us.
I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
And what could be something more sinister?
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
Really?
So, what are you gonna do?
You came here to be sure, so you must have your way of reassuring yourself.
I've got to hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, well, why are you so suspicious?
I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them.
Then what's so special about them?
For insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat.
Uh-huh.
Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Just like any police officer that collects the overtime pay for hauling in some random person off the street, cuffing them and throwing them in a vehicle.
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo. And don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time.
Mm-hmm.
You made a lot of rash decisions today.
Right, without thinking. You expect me to think?
She's gone. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that.
Maybe she likes security. Maybe it's security.
Huh. Never mind her.
Okay. Yeah, well, sometimes you gotta keep your guard up, but what do they mean? Researching these are for all the same. What's it all gonna add up to, Albedo? Where is it all gonna finish?
You're back. Good
Yes.
timing. I've just about reached the conclusion.
That I'm special?
You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back?
Quietly by a sister no less.
I wouldn't worry. She's just doing her job.
She's suspicious of everything, even for no reason.
Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is you're very much like a human from this world.
Gee! We waited all that time for that?
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for this?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted.
Yeah, well... because that was anticlimactic.
Have you ever considered that the world of Teyvat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders?
Only the gods would
I
know.
mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Teyvat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom.
Something from another world somehow isn't able to thrive, but somehow the Traveler is an exception.
But after I observed you, I had another idea.
Another experiment?
Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Imitating? Are you gonna make that seed grow?
It looks like something's appearing.
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, and now to fruition, is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
No. Unless you're talking about an organism, then I don't know how else you could possibly say that. It was beautiful, it was so short-lived.
It would seem that that's as far as we go.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious.
I'm just thinking about, like, the idea of that flower as, like, a metaphor to the Traveler. Like, he's looked at things from outside the world, like that sea, for example, and saying that anything that's not used to this world is not long for this world, similar to how that flower has existed. So my guess is it an omen or a prophecy to the Traveler, that the Traveler would not last long?
A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Several things, but I could look at it in many different ways.
Things feel a little heavy right now.
Like an omen. I don't know, maybe this story quest was found before? I'm just thinking of the Inazuma Archon quest where you had to face off the Raiden Shogun, where she was just about to kill you the second you walk out that front door. And my guess is that flower metaphor could have been used in that scenario, but that's my idea.
Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you.
Because we're so special, we're short-lived.
Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Despite you not being nice.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom.
So I'm a helpful specimen.
I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me.
Anytime I talk about myself, you switch to yourself.
In the future, if the need arises, Can I solicit your help again?
Is Hoyoverse ever gonna make another story quest after this involving you?
Well, glad I can count on you.
Okay. Is that it?
I made a point throughout of telling her how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. What could it mean?
So, is that sediment the extra element that's used to describe how the traveler is able to use the elements without the vision?
Those born of Earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything.
So here's the god metaphor.
I rely on you to stop me.
There we go! Finally! From reason, Universe decided to put the sequel to the story quest in the limited time event you can't play anymore. I didn't get to. You know what? Maybe that's a good idea. Limited time event with Albedo. I don't think I can see Albedo here on this list, so we won't be able to see Albedo here. Alright, oh god. Now, tomorrow, if I got time, yeah, actually tomorrow, I'm gonna do Tartaglia. I'll come back to this. At some point, I gotta start moving on to other quests. I gotta move on to Sumeru. I'm just getting backtracked to all the other stuff. In the meantime, I gotta go. Thank you all for joining. I really gotta use the washroom, and I'll see you all later on today for another live stream. Bye!